Thank you. Time back on.
That's rough.
Welcome to Gus and Gawny, episode Who Cares? As always, I'm joined here by the great man Gus.
Pleasure to be here. Rebranding, and you know what? Jess and Danielle, hope they're listening.
They gave us some feedback.
They gave us some feedback, and we love feedback at the podcast. Part of it was everyone knows we've rebranded. It's official, so we should stop mentioning it.
Now, we have standards at the podcast.
Sure.
And I just want to address a couple of things.
Sure, off the top. I like it.
It's a Monday morning, which might mean we're a little bit slow to start, but...
Not for us. You were here at 7:30, well and truly.
Yeah, we were 7:30 start, and it's currently 7:39. Few tech issues.
Yeah.
And also our media manager just walked in, which is 10 minutes late.
Yes. Well, look, I mean, maybe you could borrow Benny Gibson's watch for next time. And then
there's plenty to go around.
Then, you would never have that problem again. So good rope.
All right.
It doesn't really add much, so you're not missing him a heap, but I'm just more a principle.
We're missing
right?
our key podcast guy today, in Stefan.
Yeah. Safe to say the wheels are close to falling off. Jeez, we've come out hard early.
Well, we're just talking standards.
Sure.
And if
we've got to be honest with ourselves.
If we don't have standards, what are we?
We're a rudderless boat adrift in the ether of podcast.
And they've also, we've got a commitment in 50 minutes, so we've got to be 50 minutes or less.
Well, I think, that's probably worth noting is that we're also footballers with a job that needs doing on a Monday. Correct. And, we carved extra time out, obviously, and I think next time some punctuality wouldn't go astray.
Anyway, what do?
Well, geez, we do a lot of things. We do.
Yeah, come on, that's your word.
Oh no, you can use it whenever you want.
Okay, digress. I'm really unsure what it means.
Well, let's digress.
Western Bulldogs.
What about it?
We lost to them.
About a week ago?
Yes, well, we haven't had a podcast since.
Okay, sorry. No, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Box Hill game on Friday night.
I would have said Box Hill. But
that's what confused me.
Well, I said Western Bulldogs.
So Western Bulldogs, I mean, there was there was an AFL and a VFL game, for those who don't know. Yeah. We lost both of them.
At Marvel. We were in it, albeit we're probably in it on the scoreboard, but not necessarily in the game, apart from the second quarter.
It's a four-quarter game, isn't it?
It is a four-quarter game. And then the third and fourth, once they got to a sort of 3-4 goal lead, they sort of held it and then kicked away a little bit at the end. Not as disappointing as a loss during the year, but still relatively disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially after the Richmond game, we're all sort of up and about, but that's a good thing. Many times I've won both preseason games and come in and lost round one. So it's not a massive red flag.
A lot of stuff to work on. Yep. A lot of learnings. Let's stay positive. We're a positive podcast.
Yes,
We've rebranded.
And the other game?
We got absolutely destroyed.
Against Box Hill?
No. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the other Doggies game. You got to be more clear with your communication.
That was Brayshaw-Trelaw.
I digress. Yeah, it was Brayshaw and Trelaw. Yeah. And, they had a few players. I reckon they had 10 listed players. And we had...
Well, we would have had 10.
No. We had a few of the first-year boys. Yeah. But Jake Bowie was playing up in one, so we didn't have him. I think we were 5 or 6.
Okay, yep. And who won the battle, you or Trelaw?
Well, they won by about 100 points. So I'm going to have to give him the chocolates.
Yep.
And I only played a half, so he definitely gets the chocolates.
Well, you must have played a good half because 8 days later, 5 days later.
You've got that.
5 days later, five or four?
Probably 4.
4 days later, you played against Box Hill and you got tagged.
Yes, the entirety of the game.
Start to finish. Sam Mitchell, the coach of Box Hill, has tagged you in a VFL practice
game. Yeah, that's what happened. We won that game though, which was good. It was nice.
Well, that was the complete opposite. That was about 11 listed players to 0.
So we had the roles were reversed and enjoyed a good win there. A few Gippsland Power boys, a few TAC Cup boys came up and played a really good role for us and got through uninjured, which is important. So the hands up in the air. Michael Hibbard played as well.
Well, we're stealing news here.
Well, we could be. Man. And you know what? That's probably a good point.
Yeah. How about we leave the Michael Hibbard and Majak Door to that's the easy stories we'll give to the news guy.
Happily. What else did I have here? Just in general chit chat. Spuds game's coming up.
Yeah, Spuds game. Tell me about that.
Well, you know Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle was a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, I guess she probably is. So the Saints in Melbourne round 2 is the St Kilda have started this initiative, Spuds game, to raise funds and awareness for mental health in honour of the late Danny Frawley, who wore the number 2, so I think there's a bit of something in that.
Is that the connection?
Yeah, I think that's how it
or
works.
Or is it Saints' first home game?
No. I think it's the number 2.
They're both correct. But
both are correct.
Yeah.
So it turns out we'll be playing them by some strange
So that's
coincidence.
the coincidence. Not because you're an ambassador and part of the Frawley family.
Not quite there on the family front yet, but
not by law. Yes, correct.
Yeah, common law has saved me in this case. But no, we've got that to look forward to. Hopefully, I'm playing. It'll be a nice game to be a part of. Obviously, the Frawley family and I, as we've pointed out, have a bit of a history. So
how can we donate or get involved?
Well, very nice of all our teammates. I sent a little photo out for them to Instagram and spread the word. So outside of coming to the game, I think there's a link in there somewhere that you can donate to. I don't have it on me.
That's okay. Well, next week we're going to focus on it a little bit more, going into the St Kilda game.
And that's fair.
We might actually get a friend of the podcast in.
Wow. Could well.
Make
it official.
AFLW.
So we're talking about the AFLW?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
They had a big win.
Didn't they? I mean, we all saw.
They cemented their spot in the finals.
Secured?
Well, no, not yet.
So there's a mathematical possibility. Me, Matt.
Well, they're 1 win in and there's 2 games left. So there's more than a mathematical possibility.
So you've crowed early. Because we were at dinner last night and you crowed early about the rugby score.
Yeah, and we'll go into NRL in a minute because I'm very fascinated. Fascinated is not the word, but...
you could be fascinated.
I am quite fascinated as well.
Back yourself in, mate.
They won by about 30 points against a really strong Adelaide team. Aaron Phillips is part of that team.
That was the word around the water cooler during the week, was that Adelaide were, going to be real tough.
I understand that water cooler joke now because I've been binge watching The American Office.
Yeah.
And I feel like, is that where the water cooler joke sort of started from?
Well, no, but...
Because they go to the water cooler to joke and then...
Yeah, they would...
And then Dwight pulls the water cooler over to his table because he wants to be involved in the conversation.
Are you British Office or American Office? That's real.
British is 2 seasons, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's quality, not quantity. Anyway.
Lily Mithen, who... I'm not sure if she's a friend of the podcast.
No, I wouldn't go so far as to say. No, she has come on.
She doesn't even know you're on the podcast.
No, she doesn't even. Doesn't even follow Danielle.
She was best on ground. She was really good. And Hanksy again. And who kicked the goals? I'm trying to... Kate.
Number 10.
Yeah.
Number 10. It sounds like number 10 and number 11 are putting in a bit of work down there.
Well, Mithen's number 14.
Of course she is.
Yeah, but...
Sorry.
Anyway.
Number 10's doing all right.
Okay.
Are you sure she's number... Yeah.
You were going to ask me about Captain's Day?
Yeah, I was. You and Big Boy McAvoy talking about farms and stuff, so you would have been well versed after Cade Chandler came in. One
of the more tedious days on the calendar in terms of how much small chat you got.
Jonesy used to love it.
Jonesy?
He used to go in and talk to
I've been
Selwood.
4 times and I've only been captain twice. Jonesy used to call in sick every week. There was a year where Jonesy and Vines both called in sick. I thought that was the reason why we had dual captains, so one could go to Captain's Day. So it's normally a 9 till 4 type operation, small chat the whole time, but they streamlined it this year. Just the 10 Victorian ones, which is sad because I get along with Tom Jonas and he wasn't there. But a couple of newbies. Big Boy was there and I enjoyed the company of another ruckman.
Yep.
We're on a different sort of level, the rucks.
What did you talk about?
Harvesting.
What's he harvesting?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know what harvesting really is.
You have to know what harvesting is.
Yeah, is it growing a crop?
Yeah, well, so you grow it and then when you have to...
But is a crop some sort of vegetable? It could be anything.
Jeez, we're going to have to cut this out.
Why are we?
I don't know if we can... Oh, well, no. Okay, well, how do I explain this in words that don't sound particularly insulting? So what do you mean? What's a crop?
So a crop is obviously a seed or it's something...
A crop is not a seed. So once you've grown something, that's your crop. That's what it can be anything.
So it's not a crop when you first put it in the dirt. That's
what we and I'm not even in the farming business. That's called a seed.
Yes, and then it turns into a crop. And is that the harvesting process?
No, that's called the photosynthesis.
That's
growing.
Called photosynthesis, yeah.
Yeah, and then after you've photosynthesized, then you have to... the crops don't just pick themselves up and walk into the barn.
So that's the picking up of the crop is the harvest.
You harvest it, yeah.
Okay.
So once it's grown, you can harvest it.
Okay, so that's what he was talking to me about.
No, yeah, geez, wow.
Well, I'm not going to ask.
What did you say back?
I'm like, oh yeah, harvest. I remember when I did that a couple of years ago. I'm not going to ask him what harvesting is.
Gee
I'm trying
whiz.
to impress him.
Yeah. Was he impressed?
He was. I started talking Hiluxes, and he was really impressed.
Okay.
Anyway, so Captain's Day was
harvesting. What's a crop? Yeah. So no, you're happy with it.
What didn't happen is we normally have the opposition captain there, but Freo didn't rock up.
Yep.
They were able to stay in WA and do their Captain's Day over there. So we couldn't talk Freo. I couldn't talk to Fifey about round one.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Good chat.
Which we go on to. We play Freo.
Yes, we
one.
do.
Yeah.
Great segue.
Yeah.
Straight into it. Yeah, we do. Which is going to be good. Hopefully I get picked. I can play against Andrew.
We've been talking that up all year on the podcast.
I know we have.
The potential round one game of Andrew v Angus.
That's what I keep saying to Goody.
Yeah.
I've not lost to him.
The only issue is Andrew is pretty much their number one midfielder now, so he probably won't be on you.
No, well, I'm not. I don't think I'm even in the midfield at this point.
You're number 6 at best at this stage.
Jeez, let's count them out.
Yeah.
Clayton, Track, Harms, Viney, Jordan.
Well, are you giving Jordan a game?
You're not?
Well, I'm not on match committee. I've got to fit both.
Neither am I.
In somehow.
Okay. Well, look,
It's going to be interesting.
Should we leave that to the match committee?
Yeah, we'll leave it to the match committee. I wanted to talk about NRL.
Okay.
So we do a tipping competition on our phones. I don't know why I said on, and then I had to finish the sentence.
I don't know why you're still talking about it.
But we have a WhatsApp group.
Sure.
Anyway, we're trying to get some numbers, and Bailey Fritz is the organiser of the competition and managed to get Choco Williams.
Wow.
Once Choco heard there was money up for grabs, NRL tipping, he had that fierce look in his eye, that competitive look, and he goes, I'm going to win this.
Sure.
Anyway, he's playing this really long game. Like, he's bluffing us. He's gone to Bailey that he doesn't know anything about NRL, and he's called him and asked him, how do I research? And Bailey's like, the internet?
He has to know what the internet is.
Type in NRL on Google and you'll be able to find some...
To be fair, though, I assumed you knew what harvesting and crops were. So if Choco doesn't know what the internet is...
I had a rough idea, but I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Choco knows what the internet is,
anyway,
we assume.
So in the WhatsApp, someone's gone, I'm going to tip against Storm. And then Choco's replied to it saying, Storm are normally really bad at this time of the year. Mm-hmm. An hour later, I see on Twitter that Storm have won 18 round one games in a row. So he's come out with this almighty statement, still bluffing us. I reckon he's playing the long game still.
But
then the funny fact, after him saying that Storm are normally horrible at this time of the year, Mitch Brown's had a look. We can see what everyone's tipped. And Choco's tipped Storm.
I don't understand this con, Choco.
So he's trying to bluff us.
Get it.
The best thing about all this is he's just got a perfect 8.
So I just don't... I'm trying to put this...
He's walked in this morning going, I didn't even know who the Sharks were and I tipped them.
Oh, okay. So that type of rough rate. Well, I mean, how many rounds does he have to get 100% on before...
Before we realise that this guy's actually...
Yeah, I can't imagine.
The smartest NRL man. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I also scored an 8, but I don't...
Did you tweet about it?
No, I didn't tweet about it. I don't claim that I'm a smart NRL tipper.
Well, I don't... Yeah, we were at dinner last night together and that's the first time I've watched NRL in about... a calendar year. I'm not a massive, so I genuinely could sympathise with Choco if he wasn't lying to our faces.
Our guest has walked in, but I just want to talk about one more thing before he comes in.
Sure.
Remember the chat that really launched our podcast?
There's
Shapes, and then there was another one.
Are you talking about
regarding contracts?
Oh, this huge John Ralph speculation.
The top 100 list. Anyway, I went to a wedding the other day.
Sure. No.
Yeah. Fun fact, I went to a wedding. That's very rare in Melbourne. And Jay Clark was sitting on my table. And now I didn't associate Jay Clark with this story. Anyway, Jay Clark sits next to me and goes, are we friends? I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, ever since you potted me in the media. I go, what do you... He goes, about our top 100 list. I'm like, I was after Ralphie. I didn't realise Clarkie was involved as well.
We're going for the head of the snake, and that was John Ralph's publish.
And then I said, now I'm actually... in the top 10 because I've signed my new contract. I'm probably number 1 now.
100%.
But he just wrote the story 6 months too early.
Should have asked.
So I just wanted to say that we really got to the person who wrote that story, which I'm happy with.
So Jay Clark's written it, Ralphie's taken credit.
They've both written it.
Okay.
But I'm glad that what we did that day...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the influence, the far-reaching.
Got back to Jay Clark, and he's still thinking about it.
We're making waves.
We're making waves. All right, let's bring in our guest.
Yeah, let's.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
I'm ready.
And we're back. Thanks to our sponsors. Do you want to just quickly give them
Yeah, we got a lot of great friends. Red Bull.
Red Bull's number one at the moment.
Yeah, right up there. Good friends of ours.
Zurich.
Squash.
Barbie Onions.
Hurt.
East End Wamba.
Jaguar.
And Not Shapes.
Not Shapes at the moment. We still haven't... Let's not even bring that up. We've got Darren Burgess in.
Darren Burgess. Welcome.
Thanks, Bryce.
You've obviously heard great things.
I have no idea what I'm walking into, but
you've heard great things.
I've heard great things.
Yeah.
Avid listener.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the show. Love what you're doing for the podcast industry.
Oh, good, because you're in the industry.
It's called the Darren Burgess Show?
No, it's the Bruckner and Burgess podcast, but we haven't done any for a while because I'm too busy with you blokes. But
that's fair enough.
Yeah, we'll get back to it for sure.
Now, you made us say Red Bull at the start there. Is there some sort of
What's your
personal sponsorship?
Yeah.
None whatsoever. I just really respect the company and
Oh.
what they do for performance, but
Great
there is
company.
nothing other than some regular Red Bull that they deliver to my house, which is great.
You've
So,
almost got every player having a Red Bull pre-game now.
as they should. It's performance enhancing. In fact, today I've got a great surprise for you blokes at midday today.
That never, surprising Darren Burgess never ends well.
No, it ends very well. So come with an open mind at midday.
It's
and
not a fun-sized
there'll
chocolate
be
bar again, is
no,
it?
there'll be a...
What did we get that for? What was that
Can't
after?
remember. You got an ice cream as well after
Good point, an icy pole.
Yeah,
The kids handed that out. That was a great day.
Exactly. So
I'm nervous
12
now.
o'clock today, big surprise on the Red Bull theme.
Okay, beautiful. So it's not a can of V.
No.
We hate V.
We hate
Not
V.
friends of ours.
Shocking drink.
Not friends of ours. Let's talk our pre-season. It's shorter,
Shorter.
yeah, but we still got the work in.
Yeah, we did. I'm a fan of the shorter pre-season, as
Yeah.
you know. In sort of other codes, they do 5-6 weeks, and so I think it's worked well.
Yep.
Look, the proof will be in the pudding. In 10 weeks' time, we'll know. But I think most teams are happy with the shorter pre-season.
You're not potentially worried about injuries early on in season?
Yeah, I am.
You are?
Yeah. I think with the rule changes and everything like that, it's a real risk. So there is that, but I think we've prepared as well as we could possibly have done.
Did the AFL inquire? You are probably the lead high performance manager in the league.
They never ask performance managers.
Yeah,
It
right.
is astounding. They ask coaches, they ask players, but never the people who are theoretically in charge of performance. So it's I find it interesting.
Okay.
You want to send a message to Gil personally?
Well,
I know he's a listener.
We don't have a strong union like you guys do
Sure.
and the coaches do. So we're just phys editors.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, okay. Well, that's fair. Well, when you put it like that, maybe we can help you out, give you a
Yeah.
voice. Speaking of pre-season, who's impressed you? Present company excluded, obviously. I know I've been
course.
setting
Yeah.
the track on fire.
Who has impressed me? I love everything about Luke Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, on and
Okay.
off the field.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I just love what he's about. So hopefully he's in for a good one.
Yeah, okay.
So I understand present company was excluded, so he's gone for my main rival.
Yeah,
and pumped him up.
I know my audience. So.
Thanks, mate. We've got some new staff members this year.
We do.
And this guy got introduced. Who's your what do you call it?
Understudy.
Protege. We'll call it.
Protege.
Yeah,
Protege.
yeah.
When he got introduced, he was introduced as the best in the business, which I remember you getting introduced as,
And
you
David
introducing David Regan as. So we apparently have three.
in their field.
But he'd Selwyn
Aren't you all in the
Griffiths,
same
who's
field?
from Brisbane Lions. We got him
Yeah.
across. He's
Yeah.
in the same field as you.
But he's a rehabilitation coordinator and fitness coach.
So he's the
not
best in the
high
business of
performance
rehab.
At that area, absolutely.
So
yeah.
we've got the three best in the business.
Undoubtedly. In fact, we've probably got more.
Well,
David Regan is the best in the business in his particular space.
And what's
So,
his space?
Sports science.
Sports science.
Wow.
And S&C as well.
Yep.
Riggs is a jack of all trades, as you know. But
Yep.
Well, hang on. We don't want the jack of all trades. You said he
No.
was a master of
Of sports science and strength and conditioning.
those particular trades, sure.
So you blokes don't know how lucky you are to have Regan, Griffiths,
Burgess.
no,
I'll say it. I'm not afraid.
Eggleston, James. I mean, the list goes on. Watts, I forgot about Wattsy, my goodness.
Didn't he come fifth in the, correct me if I'm wrong, the CrossFit Games?
National CrossFit Games, yeah. So he practices what he preaches. Unfortunately, I don't. But
this isn't friend of the podcast, Jack Watts. This is Dave
No, Dave Watts, our not to be confused.
Yes, he's a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, big
friend of ours. Long history. We were going through it before. 2000. Go through it.
Port from 04 to 08.
Yep.
Socceroos from 07 to 10.
Yep.
Liverpool from 10 to 12.
Yep.
Port from 12 to 17.
Yep.
Arsenal from 17 to 19.
Yep.
Melbourne from 19 to 2024.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. At least.
So that's a fair career, but stems in 2 countries mainly.
Yep.
Where was your most enjoyable time out of that?
Socceroos.
Yeah,
Because I
right.
got to go to a whole bunch of different countries, and as a patriotic Aussie, there's nothing better than being in the World Cup with the Australian soccer team. Like I watched every World Cup growing up with my dad, and so to actually be a small part of it.
So which World Cup was?
Not the one where
South Africa.
Yeah. So sort of the back end of the golden generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to meet some of my idols growing up: Kewell, Viduka, Cahill, and work with them was great. Loved it. Lucas Neal, those sort of guys.
That just outranked Port of 04 to 08 because they were in a grand final premiership team.
No, I came a week after they won the premiership.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then,
So you're the reason.
I was the reason. Then we made the grand final in 07 with a pretty shit team.
Yeah.
But we
don't
got
cut
done
that
by
either.
137 points or something. So it was a bad day at the office. But we at least made it. So
did you have much to do with Troy Chaplin back in the day?
I did have a fair bit to do with Troy.
So who's the less impressive? I'm going to throw some names at you. Chaplin being one of them. Hibberd, May.
Hibberd and May pay far more attention to their opposition than Chaplin did.
Sure.
Chaplin was the very first of the very loose defenders. Even though he was told to be tight, he was never tight.
At their peak, 2K'er, May, Hibberd, Chaplin, Alapati.
Bobby, it would go in that order. Hibberd, May, Chaplin, Alapati.
Yeah,
wow.
right. So Hibberd and May get Chaplin.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Chappie was it was a good, honest toiler.
Yeah,
honest.
Good player, Chappie. I like working with him.
Arsenal and Liverpool.
Arsenal.
That was fun?
Yeah, good fun. Just a whole different way of doing things. It's just a different world. The contracts, the agents, the Liverpool. I was more hands-on. I was a hands-on fitness coach, whereas Arsenal I was more sort of suit and tie a bit and more sort of hello, managing the staff rather than actually doing as much hands-on.
Yeah, and greatest player you've seen is Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, all-round player, for sure. His work ethic, his skill, his talent, his ability to drive others, and now he's translating that into management and just won the title.
They won for the first time.
First time for everyone.
Who's he managed?
Rangers and
Scottish.
They were absolute rabble when he took over, and sort of 2 years later, and they won the league. So, yeah, he's a star.
They're the arch rival of Celtic.
They are, and Celtic were going for 10 straight, which has never been done before. So there's a fair bit of motivation for Rangers, and they just won last week, so it's great.
Who do you currently support, Premier League?
Well, my kids were born in Liverpool, so probably them, but I grew up as a Man U fan, so I was a bit sad when I converted to...
Thoughts on Watford?
I like Watford.
So do I. I'm a Watford man.
Yeah. Well, how could you...
We went there when I was 17 and went to the game and met with Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney, yeah.
Shook his mitt. He's
well, their training ground was right when I'm in next door,
I've been there.
right next to Arsenal's, and so when we played Watford, one particular game, my first year there, they trained all week in one formation, and our cameras, we secretly turned them around to look at them, and then they lined up in a completely different formation, so they knew exactly what we were doing.
Brilliant.
Didn't quite work out as we planned, but anyway.
Well, you're a Southampton?
Sunderland. We're not.
Same.
We're no longer in the Premier League or the Championship.
Well, neither is Watford's a championship.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
Fun fact, we just won the Papa John's Trophy this morning.
Yes, I saw that.
That's
which
not
is now
particularly
over
fun.
The Tranmere Rovers, so big rival.
Yeah, it's basically the teams outside of the top 2 divisions playing a league trophy, but they get to play at Wembley, so it's like a novelty. Hey, have fun at Wembley.
Yeah, sure. It's like the Auskick kids on MTV.
It's like Auskick kids at halftime of the G. That's exactly right.
Well, good on you, Max. I'm sure that's good.
What do you reckon your strength is in terms of when I talk to people outside, they all say you're the recovery whiz. Like, you're the man.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, the only way I've got some contacts. Like, he's the man about town recovery. Like, when you do your speeches, your sportsman's nights, your cashies.
Pockets.
What's the main thing people are there taking their notebooks to?
I think building resilience in players.
Yeah.
And traditionally, we've built resilience by recovering a lot, whereas I probably try and build that by working you guys a bit harder, and so that nothing in the game is a surprise. So that's probably, I would say anyway, that's what most people associate me with, I guess.
Sounds like you're not particularly a recovery whiz at all.
Well, he is by continually working so you never have to recover.
Exactly right. That's the one thing that people don't quite get right, is the fitter I make you guys, the less you actually have to recover.
Yeah.
So that's a plan anyway. So.
So I was hearing he's the recovery whiz, but when he sends through, hey boys, just go to the beach today, cheers, Burjo, I start to think
See, there's
that he's
so
not.
many things going on behind the scenes that you don't appreciate. You just think that's toddle off to the beach, but there's so much science that goes into the beach.
Is there?
Is there any science? What science went into the recruit? Talk to me about that.
Well, listen,
I'm glad you asked this.
Big Matty Eagles got 4 years at the Lions,
Jeez,
based on the recruits.
The back of your hard work.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of science from me on there. So yeah, that was an experience.
Did the Port? Were you at Port at the time? No, you were
Yeah.
at Socceroos at the time.
No, Port.
Were they giving you a bit of a hard time being on TV?
Plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were fascinated by who was going to win and all that sort of stuff. But I copped it for the 2 years. Look, I went over there on my day off, filmed one day. I was on there for about 30 seconds an episode, quality 30 seconds.
Of course.
It's good cash for a day off,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it was bang average, I can assure you. I can assure you. Eddie Maguire I was working for, and wasn't a lot.
Fun fact, round one this week we're playing Fremantle.
Yes.
Who 2 years ago...
Do you not know that? That's a fun fact for you.
Yeah, wow, okay.
2 years ago we got introduced to a staff member saying he's the best in the industry, and now he's at Fremantle and now no longer the best in the industry, apparently.
Funny that.
So we're up against your former number
Phil.
2.
Protege. Filthy.
Phil Merriman.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously we'll be fitter than them.
Yeah, obviously it's funny because Phil and I have exchanged texts and phone calls up until the last 2 weeks. It's just dried up.
Right,
It's
just dried up.
It's like Springfield, Shelbyville sort of
Yeah,
operation.
wow. That's a...
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
But you'll no doubt talk straight away, like the first minute after the game. There'll be
Exactly.
a conversation.
Phil's a good guy, and I hope he does really well, other than this week.
Yeah.
That's very
I wonder
diplomatic.
if he's taken a lot of Burgess to Fremantle.
He has.
Yeah.
So
Did
I've
they do the
heard.
100s?
No, they got reamed pretty hard over the... Andrew said, I've never run this far. And Andrew's pretty
right.
fit.
Yep,
You know, he's my brother, so he has to be. But
You
it
got
said...
a brother, plays at Freo.
Yeah, do you know?
There you go.
You got a wine bar.
What's your record against?
Undefeated.
Yeah.
There you go. There's something else you didn't know.
You didn't play in Cairns?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember
played
my
the
foot?
first game.
I had surgery on
Played
my
the
foot.
first game, then you had surgery.
Yeah.
And you've been out the whole pre-season.
Yeah.
But you're a chance
Just
to
that
play
one.
this week.
So yeah, no, Burjo, take that to the higher up. So I appreciate
I'll
that.
see what I can do.
Favourite athlete you've come across in football? Let's go football because you just said Stevie G.
Yeah.
And fair to say you said Viduka and Kuehl, so they're probably your three there.
I'm up there, surely.
I used to love watching Viduka.
Yeah.
Sorry, football is in.
No, we're talking favourite athlete completely.
Favourite athlete completely, present company excluded.
Yeah,
Obviously.
nah, include.
Let me guess, Braden Bruce and Luke Jackson.
No, Brodie Grundy. No. Look, I loved working with Luis Suarez, watching him. His training intensity was off the charts.
Didn't he bite someone in the ear?
He did,
shit.
and hence I got quite close to him because he was always suspended. So I got to spend a lot of time with him.
I was wondering why he got close
You
to
got close
him.
with him.
Yeah.
Burjo has an ear fetish.
The suspension made a whole lot more sense.
Unfortunately for him, he had to spend a lot of
We're
time
both
with
big
him.
biters. I didn't know what was coming.
Suarez.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching him and working with him. But in the AFL, I love working with Sean Burgon in the early days.
You can still work with him if you want.
Absolute freak. But to be honest, I didn't know how hard our skipper worked. People told me, but in the first pre-season, I was very impressed with
He's not come to a single Tuesday morning
the
session.
running
Let
ability and the work ethic of the big fella. For a man his size, it was very impressive. So,
Thanks,
there you
Darren.
go.
So, Burjo, I subscribe to the school of work smarter, not harder.
Yes,
you know that.
you do. Yeah.
So
And as you know, I like smart runners.
you could chop a headless chook's head off, and they'd run around pretty, impressively. So what do you say out there to all the people
Exactly
who,
right.
particularly, they know what a harvest is, they know what a crop is, so they don't have to run like an idiot around.
I agree with that completely. And guys like Robbie Gray.
Yep, he springs to mind.
Yeah, he springs to mind. And Chad Wingard, who work very smart.
Yep, all Australian.
And work when the ball is in the area. And that's all you have to do. So I'm a big fan of that.
Do you
we
know
could be more efficient, more like Brayshaw. We could be more like Gus. We'd be a better team.
Wow, thanks for the praise, mate. I really appreciate that.
Do you know the farming process?
You know what
so
a
it goes
crop
from-
is? Sorry, you missed out on that joke. You know what a crop is?
I am aware of that, yeah.
Yeah, so a crop is once it's fully grown into something.
And then
Okay, yeah.
So when it's first a seed, it's not a crop.
Yes, okay.
And then the harvest process is when you pick it up out of the ground.
Yep,
Were you aware of that?
I am aware of that, yeah.
pretty vaguely. You're not a
You
farmer.
didn't seem that
I've
confident.
spent a couple
Because I'm not sure you nailed the explanation.
That's what you told me.
I was
so-
aware of it until you started explaining it.
Oh,
And now I'm
jeez.
confused.
Harvesting for dummies. Maxie Gawn had it. Anyway, we won't go back over it. You can listen to the podcast.
I'll look forward to it.
The best runner you've come across?
Best sprinter was Fernando Torres. He moved unbelievably well. The best overall runner.
Sorry, mate.
Look, in terms of overall footballer runner,
Yeah.
there's difference because I've had some really good runners who couldn't play.
Yeah.
I won't name them,
Yeah.
but
The one have long hair? No, come on.
No.
Ed Langdon's up there.
He's actually a good game runner.
Yeah, he's unbelievable
Yeah.
because he can play as well.
Great friend of the podcast.
Isn't he?
Yeah, so someone like him is as good as I've seen. Brad Ebert was
Yep.
outstanding in that space.
Yep.
So
Good
one of
line
the best
man.
combination runners in terms of sprint and is Cozzy Pickett. He's right up there. Him
Yep.
and Jarman Impey are two of the better that I've seen. So yeah.
No,
Sprint and
I
endurance.
wasn't going to pick any of those names.
No, neither right. But
That's
to be
great.
fair, we aren't best in the business, so what do we know?
I thought it was the famous Kane Mitchell.
Kane Mitchell was an unbelievable runner.
Yeah.
And he was a very good runner.
Yeah.
And an outstanding person. You blokes would absolutely love Kane Mitchell.
We'll have to get him on one day.
Yeah, he would
Hopefully friend of the
bring
podcast.
some sort of light to the podcast for sure. He's a good man.
We've got commitments at 8:30, so we're going to
Have to-
speed it up a little bit. I said best runner, so now I need to know worst runner.
Nathan Cracker. Yes. He was a good game runner, but he used to stop and pause, hands on knees during the 2K time trial, and then get up and go again.
He's doing a fart leg.
He turned it into a fart leg. So he was extraordinary. Caused me many endless nights. Byron Pickett, similar.
Yep.
Similar, but when the balls came out, they were unbelievable.
Fun fact, I worked at Domino's Pizza when I was growing up. And
Really?
Byron Pickett used to come in and get 3 large pizzas.
Oh, wow.
And then I worked out that he was living by himself. So 3 large pizzas. They got him onto Jenny Craig. This is a great tale. Got him onto Jenny Craig, and he said he was loving it, eating it all. Kept on coming back, and then he kept on putting on weight. Like, what happened? He goes, he was having it for entree.
Yes, I worked very closely with Choppy after 2004 Grand Final. It's fair to say he celebrated his Norm Smith very hard.
Good on him. Good on him too.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else?
Nah, mate, just
I've got one more.
for me.
There's a chance there might be a 23rd player type setup, a concussion sub. Are you aware? The two-part question. Are you aware that that's a chance?
Yep.
And second, how are we going to play that? Is it a warm-up type situation and always stay fresh?
Yeah, it would be. I think it's a good rule because the advantage now if a player goes down the first quarter that the opposition has is enormous because of the rotations and increased game time. So it's a good rule. I would have a normal sub, not a concussion sub, and any injury sub.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would just have to stay warm. One of the great tasks in the Premier League is when it's -4 degrees and the subs are all nice and warm on the bench because they've got heated coats on and everything.
Yeah, right.
Is to go and tell internationals like Mesut and those sort of guys, just go and warm up. You can only imagine the looks you get in those sort of scenarios. So.
There's the famous sub that comes on at like the 91st minute to waste time.
Yeah,
he must be hated
exactly.
off.
In fact, I'll give you one good story.
Okay,
Please.
to finish.
This is for the young fitness coaches out there. There's more than one way to sort of skin a cat. We were playing Manchester City at City Stadium and we lost, and Mesut had to do some extra running. But it's fair to say it wasn't the favourite part of my job or his, was to run after the game, after we'd lost. and he's a proud man, and he was embarrassed by the fact that he was a sub, but he was talking to some of the Manchester City players who are also German internationals, and they were talking, and they look up to Mesut, and I'm about to tap him on the shoulder and after they've won, one of them had scored, and say, you got to go and run with the stupid Aussie fitness bloke. Anyway, I'm thinking, how can I do this? How can I? Because it's disrespectful to him. He would see it as a sign of disrespect, right? So they had their phones out. So I am from here to you away from him, but he was out of eyesight, and I've messaged him and said, I'm really sorry to do this to you, Mesut, but you have to come out and run. And to be fair, he looked at it, saw, nodded, and then came out afterwards, because they had 5 young blokes waiting to go out and run. It was snowing outside. And he said to me, I really appreciate the fact that you didn't disrespect me in front of there. So they're the lengths that you have to go to in those sort of scenarios.
And that's why you're the best. That's why he's the best in the business. Thanks for coming on, Bird.
Thanks, Darren.
It's an absolute pleasure.
We'll be back after this.
Sure we will. Short break.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy, and they truly love the D's.
It's Eddie Langdon's segment. Pretty good from us there.
It's a great segment.
Straight into it.
We've both got one.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Please.
We do all sorts of functions. They're slowly coming back with COVID rules relaxing.
Yep.
And Ed Langdon was the only player to appear at the Melbourne coterie function.
Was that wow?
Not compulsory.
I was about to say, I don't think that was compulsory.
It probably was, but for the sake of the story, not compulsory.
Non-compulsory.
Rocked up and I'm getting held a sheet. Nah, there was another player there. Not important.
Not important.
Not important.
It's not the positive other player show.
So Langdon's giving back to the coterie, which I like.
Well, that is impressive.
Yep,
Langers, so that's very positive. Mine is, I was in the gym with Langers the other day.
Sorry?
In the gym with Langers.
Sorry, it's positive. Yep.
Come on, mate. Let's just keep it in the bounds of positivity. So, not going to name names. Certain people have made fun of Langers in the past. That's not what I'm doing now, but people have in the past, because he only listens to Sticky Fingers.
Yep.
I can't remember who said that, but someone was saying that. And Langers put his... he said... I'll put my hand up, boys, and put the music on for the gym. Every gym that needs a music, you often do it. People do it.
Yep.
And Langers put on his playlist. It was called Vibes, spelt with a Z on the end. And
that's cool.
He clicked shuffle, and I counted 10 songs before I heard any Sticky Fingers. So he's actually diversifying his musical taste, which is, that's what we love.
Was the E a 3 in Vibes?
No, there was 3 E's though. Vibes.
That's good.
The syntax was terrible, but the music was diverse. So good on you, Langers, for branching out.
All right, let's segment hop. We rebranded the Ed Langdon segment.
Yeah, positive 2021. This is going to be. I'll be honest. This this didn't sit well with me.
Let's just go to the jingle.
Are we going to bring the jingle back?
No, we're not. Let's not go to the jingle. All right. So, there's been some social media, both love and hate, for this guy. History
is littered with extremists. So you only see the people who comment, things on the Instagram. You don't see the 70% of the fans voted for Cade to come back.
Yes.
I'll just get that out there now. The numbers want Cade back. But people don't hear about that. They only see the huge comments in caps lock saying, leave Ben Gibson alone.
But a couple of people, interesting choice by our social media manager, to do the comment for Ben Gibson for Chandler. Should have been the other way around.
Well, I can tell you I can tell you exactly how many likes. Keep talking, Max. I'll get the actual numbers up here.
My heartstrings got pulled on a little bit, because we're into love and care for our people.
So just for the record, 35 comments, 459 likes.
Okay, so that's more than 79%, I dare say.
Yeah, okay.
My heartstrings got tugged on a little bit because we rebranded the Ed Langdon segment.
Yeah, positive.
We're a nice, positive podcast.
It's 2021. Come on, get with it.
And we've been not true to ourselves in the way we've been handling potentially one of our own.
So this doesn't sit well with me.
One of our plus ones.
This doesn't particularly sit well with me because we are trying to be positive, and that's the thing we've committed to, and we put in a good effort. I think the results in the Langdon space speak for themselves. But what's I'm wrestling with here is we didn't throw the first punch. Yeah. It wasn't our fault that all this negativity got brought up. But are we trying to be the bigger? This is a conversation we must have. Are we the bigger people?
What we're going to do is we're just going to say something before he gets into his news.
Sure.
We're just going to say something nice.
Off the cuff.
You haven't got something nice off the cuff? I'll start. He's always got the time.
Is that because of his... I can't say that. He's got a watch. Have the size of his
zoom
watch.
into his watch. It's a great watch, but he's always got the time.
Okay. Yeah. He always has the time.
I've got two, and he takes great photos.
So, for example, if my phone was out of battery and I needed to know the time...
You'd be able to see it from wherever you are in Victoria.
Okay. that is a real positive.
But it is a real positive.
Off the top of my head, I like that he always puts product in his hair.
Yeah, because it stands out.
Yeah, it shows that he has,
I think we need to move on from this. This is a bad start.
No, we're trying to be positive, man. We're trying to, because we don't want to stoop down to that negative level of slander.
I'll be honest, driving here today, I wasn't sure that I was actually on the podcast. I thought I was just involved with the setup, which clearly didn't go that well.
You do have some news, though.
I do have some news because you didn't ask Burjo about the injury list.
No, we saved that for the news for the newsman.
Yeah, surprising.
Yeah.
Good to be sitting down. I've been in the corner trying to stop the lights from going off, which hasn't been successful.
Yeah, we need to get
where the
some
sensor is.
budget space for a new table and lights that don't turn off, but that's okay.
If Richo's listening, an office for the media guys would be great too. In terms of injury update,
See, that's where I
didn't want to say it.
just-
I'm glad you put your hand up because I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
And he's potted our footy manager, and he's trying to get an office.
it'd be nice.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry for everyone listening because I do
We need the
acknowledge.
news. We
About
need
a
the
minute ago, we just said we try to be positive and we've failed, but we're resetting. We're going
We
again.
need the news.
I'll throw to Gus for an update on Hibbert. He played alongside you.
Delegating.
against Box Hill.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
The delegator. So
Hibbo
Hibbo played, I think, about 3.5 quarters. They sort of yanked him late, but did some real trademark Hibbert sprints off the halfback, not really paying attention to anyone. So, got a few kicks. Played pretty well.
He'll be back, hopefully.
Yep.
Salem should be fine. He missed the practice match, but that was just precaution.
Yep.
Viney possibly out for round one, would you say?
Train the other day.
Fingers crossed we get him back.
You never know.
Gus might jump in the middle if Viney's not playing, which would be good to see.
Yep.
Melksham, he's had some hamstring soreness, potentially another week away.
He trained as well, but the good sign with them would have been if they played the game Gus did and they didn't, Melton and Viney. But I don't want to jump at it. They've played enough footy to be able to play, I reckon.
Don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
No. Jay Lockhart had a nasty one, testicle injury against the Dogs, so he's a couple of weeks away from running, I believe. That would have been painful, no doubt. Joel Smith, so he was meant to play a practice match, then a real nasty finger injury.
It was bad.
Did you see
Yeah,
it?
I was in the marking contest. It was a 2v2 marking contest. Me and Joel Smith were the defenders against Luke Jackson and Petraka. Who's your money on? Well, turns out Gawn with Joel Smith down still won the contest. But Smith's finger, let's just say this one. What do you call this one? Index?
Yeah, I thought it was the ring finger.
It probably is, but I'm just saying, let's just say this one.
Sure.
See, that bit to that knuckle was straight.
So this is a visual medium. People will be able to understand what that means.
But
Okay.
I need you to talk it through the
Okay, yeah.
parts.
So from the knuckle halfway up the finger to the base.
Yeah, was still pointing the right way.
Yeah.
And then this part of the finger was literally 90 degrees.
Yeah. I actually saw a bit of bone pop out as well,
There was a bit of bone.
which was gruesome.
There's
Apparently, he's
still
got
photo-
great cartilage.
Yeah.
No arthritis. So that's a positive.
Nasty. Wiedemann started running on Saturday, so hopefully he's not far away.
Yeah.
And then Ben Brown, of course, with the knee will be a few weeks. Majak Dor played in that game against Box Hill.
How many did he kick?
Kick 4. So,
Yep.
did you
I
enjoy
had to do
kicking
something
ball
on
to
Netty
him?
the other day for Captain's Day and asked me about Maj. I said, we'll take his time. Do we just scrap that?
Yeah, he's kicked 4.
Just bring him in.
So I think he's putting his hand up.
Yeah.
He can play ruck as well. So another one to take your spot potentially.
Yep.
Chuck him in. Everyone knows a lot about Majak, 54 games for North. People probably don't know as much about Deacon Smith. Can you give a bit of an insight into what sort of footballer he is?
I'm surprised Burjo didn't mention him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke Jackson has been obviously ultra impressive, but Deacon's, he's pick of the first years, definitely the way he's trained. I mean, they've all trained to a high level. Fraser
Rossman.
with his running, Bowser with his kicking. Bill is just the most professional kid I've ever seen walk into a system.
A young Bill Stretch,
and
potentially.
Deacon's potentially on top of them. So that's
high
how well
praise.
he's trained. He's deserved his spot. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings. I'm sure he's not out of the picture if Salem's still
Yeah,
in some sort of a cloud as well to play in the
Geez,
first
that would
game.
be some sort of sort of journey for.
Yeah. That's an Oscar McDonald type journey on the list, potentially play.
Friend of ours.
Friend of ours got a spot.
I know.
Why isn't that in your news?
Well,
we don't.
It may have been.
It's 8:25.
It wasn't. It's not news because it happened a while ago. But, it's exciting. So I think he deserves another crack.
He does.
A young key defender, people are pretty harsh on him. A lot of key defenders you let develop, but he was sort of thrown in the deep end pretty early. In terms of Fremantle, they had a bit of an unfortunate practice match. Lobb went down. He's out for 6 with a knee, and Walters a month with a hamstring. So not a bad result for us. Unfortunate for them. Walters especially is a good player to watch. I got one more. So we've got player badges new in stock.
We're finishing on this, so make sure it's big.
Well, it is big.
Yeah.
Because Max Gawn, that's quite big. Brayshaw. So player badges in the Demon Shop now. I've also got your favourite player. Your favourite player. My favourite player.
That's the Sam Wiedemann badge for those.
So
this is brilliant.
Demon Shop, you can get these now. All the new stock hitting this week. Demon Shop's open. Get your gear for round 1 and get your favourite player to wear to the game.
Well done. That was a nice way to finish the podcast.
Yep, I agree.
It was all really nice. Ben, what's the time?
You've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes till you need to be in your meeting.
Beautiful.
Brilliant.
See you next week.